Welcome back to Auto Street. Today we've got something legendary for you, the 2026 Dodge Viper. It's a car that many thought was gone forever, but now it's roaring back. Sit tight as we dive deep into its exterior, interior, performance, and pricing, everything you need to know before you ever slide behind the wheel. When you first see the 2026 Viper, it commands attention. The exterior design is aggressive and purposeful. The front fascia is low and wide, with a bold grille that channels airflow into the cooling system, flanked by sleek, angular LED headlights. The hood features dramatic vents and bulges, not just for looks, but to manage heat from the powerhouse beneath. The fenders flare out aggressively, giving it a muscular stance from every angle. Side skirts and sculpted door panels direct airflow while visually stretching the car low to the ground. Towards the rear, you get a pronounced diffuser, quad exhaust tips, and in many trims, a large fixed wing or spoiler for added downforce. In the track-oriented ACR version, aero elements are cranked up. You'll see more aggressive winglets, splitters, and diffusers to push more air and keep the car planted. The body is expected to use lightweight materials, carbon fiber, aluminum, and high-strength steels to keep mass low while delivering structural rigidity. Every crease and vent is functional, not just decorative, which is what gives the Viper that menacing, purposeful profile. One render even describes it as looking like a supercar designed in a digital shed, with razor-sharp edges and exaggerated surfaces. Moving inside, the 2026 Viper blends raw, driver-centric style with premium touches. The cockpit is tight, focused on the driver. You'll see bolstered sports seats trimmed in Alcantara or premium leather with contrast stitching. The steering wheel is thick, grippy, with paddle shifters, for those trims that get semi-automatic transmissions, or a classic gated shifter in manual variants. The instrument cluster is likely a mix of digital screen and analog dials for that nostalgic supercar feel. Paddle shifters, drive mode selectors, and performance switches are all within easy reach. You'll see carbon fiber, exposed aluminum, and race-inspired trim pieces. Silence and luxury are secondary. This interior is built to make you feel the car, not hide from it. Technology won't be ignored, though. Expect a central infotainment touchscreen, performance telemetry, lap times, G-force meters, timers, smartphone integration, and maybe even track-oriented toggles, traction control levels, suspension stiffness. Some reports lean toward minimalism in the line of past Vipers, no frivolous gadgets, but since this is a comeback car, you'll likely see a balance between modern tech and rawness. Now, let's talk heart and soul, performance. The rumors and early reports suggest this new Viper will pack a formidable powertrain. One of the more repeated figures is 850 horsepower, likely from a twin-turbocharged V8 or a heavily reworked V10 in some versions. Others claim it may still cling to its V10 heritage in some variants. Whether V8 or V10, the goal is brutal thrust. One video calls it brutal V10 power returns with modern muscle. Expect 0 to 60 in something like mid-2-second territory in the most extreme trims. Top speed figures are still speculative, but given the power and aero, 200 plus mph seems reasonable. To handle that power, the Viper must have serious hardware under the skin, adaptive suspension, adjustable dampers, active aero, sticky performance tires, giant brakes, carbon ceramic likely in higher trims, and maybe even torque vectoring for sharper cornering. In track versions, lighter weight, stripped interiors, and even more aggressive aero will push performance boundaries further. The driving experience is meant to be visceral. No nanny electronics aggressively limiting you. This is a car for purists. The connection between throttle, steering, and chassis should feel direct. Expect raw feedback, dramatic exhaust noise, and a car that rewards skill. What about pricing? Here things get speculative because Dodge has not officially confirmed all pricing details yet. Some sources claim the base version could start in the $150,000 to $180,000 range, with higher trims or performance/track editions pushing past $200,000 or more. The premium parts, limited volumes, and cutting-edge components will justify the price. In the collector car market, past Vipers, especially rare editions, have sold for $200,000 to $400,000 plus, but those are used values. For the new 2026 model, expect steep options, performance packages, and exclusivity to push the final tally significantly higher. Some leaked projections and render-based speculation indeed peg certain trimmed versions well above the base estimates. Because so much is still in flux, make sure your audience knows these are early estimates and subject to change. From a value standpoint, you're not just buying performance. You're buying heritage, exclusivity, and the emotional return of a legend. The Viper nameplate hasn't been in production since 2017. So this 2026 model is essentially a reintroduction, aiming to re-establish dominance. Whether it lives up to the hype will depend on execution, build quality, reliability, drivability, and real-world usability. If I were to walk you through a drive, you ease it out of the garage, the front splitter just inches over the pavement. You drop into first gear, and the growl building behind the wheel gives you chills. You apply throttle and the rear tires fight for grip. In sport mode, it's manageable. In race mode, it's brutal. The shifts are crisp, the steering communicative, and every bump and road imperfection transmitted through the chassis. This is not a coupe for comfort. Through sweeping corners, the chassis remains planted, thanks to advanced damping and aero working in sync. Braking from triple-digit speeds, the carbon ceramics bite hard, fade resist is solid, though heavy driving will test limits. On the highway it's surprisingly composed, but you never forget what you're piloting, a monster cloaked in sleek proportions. In summary, the 2026 Dodge Viper returns with bold styling, aerodynamic aggression, and a driver-first interior that blends tech and rawness. Underneath, it's packed with potential 850 horsepower, or more in hot trims, a heavyweight components package, and track readiness baked in. The price tag will be steep, but for enthusiasts, it may be worth every dollar. As always, buyer beware, these early specs are based on leaks and renderings, real-world tests can confirm or contradict them. That's it for today's deep dive on the 2026 Viper here on AutoStreet. If you liked this video, hit that like button, subscribe, ring the bell so you don't miss updates, and drop a comment below. Would you go for the base sport version or the full-on track monster? Until next time, drive safe and keep chasing horsepower.